So today is a clean out the fridge dinner day. I'm going to make turkey salad. This is smoked turkey that I've previously canned with some eggs in it. I had to rehydrate celery because I had no fresh one in the house. That avocado needs to go. This tomato is just not pretty and it's really hard, so that'll go well in a salad. There are these little bell peppers that are blemishes. They go well in there, and our mini onions unintentional. But what I don't have is some bread to go with it. And that's what we're making today. It's a very easy yeast bread. It has a different form. It's not a loaf. And it's made in a southern part of Germany. It's very regional. You won't find it anywhere else in Germany. But it's really good, really easy, and it's really fast. So many decades ago when I left Germany, my friends gave me a cookbook on the way so I wouldn't forget home. And that's what we're making today. Seelen, I still use this. I'll put a translation of the recipe below, of course. What we need is flour, yeast, salt. This is milk. We'll be basting them before they go in the oven. A little bit of sugar to make the yeast happy. And then we have caraway seeds and some rough salt, which goes on top, but this is totally optional. So I'm going to mix this up so you can see the consistency of this. It will be a very wet dough. The amount of water in the recipe is an approximation. You start out with that, and if the dough gets too thick, you can add a little bit more. It is always better though to add flour to make it thicker than the other way around, because these are supposed to have a thin dough. Here we are, it's all mixed up. This is the consistency we're going for. It has to be stretchy and wet, so wet that it sticks. The reason I can't give an exact amount of water is because every flour is different. This happens to be an organic all-purpose flour, but even within other organic flours, it's still different. You just have to know, see the consistency of it. It's always better to make a wetter dough and add flour to make it thicker than the other way around. If you add water to the dough later on, it just doesn't accept it as well. It gets kind of weird and lumpy. So start out with wet, add flour, the yeast and everything stays the same. It makes no difference. And now we'll let this rise for 20 minutes, and in the meantime I'm preparing that salad. The salad is ready. Now let's check on the dough. This looks really good. It doesn't have to rise to double. It just needs to get a little fluffy. Still sticky, and it's going to stay sticky. I'm going to heat up the oven and we'll put them in. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit complicated. Parchment lined baking sheet, the dough, and a bowl of water. Ordinarily I do this right next to the sink, but the lighting is poor over there. So I'll see if my assistant can film how I put this on there. Wetting my hands in the bowl. Whoops. And I'll take the dough out and we'll pull it just like that. So it gets this long thing. Down it goes. It can't be twisted, it can't be flat, it doesn't matter. Now they get basted with some milk. That makes them brown up quite nicely. Some of that thick salt, rock salt, I'm not sure what you would call it, and some caraway. If you don't like the caraway or the extra salt, leave it off. Works just as well, but do use the milk on top. It makes a difference. And in the oven they go at 450. 10 minutes in and they're looking nicely. Another 10 and they should be nicely browned on top and ready to go. Here they are, fresh out of the oven, 20 minutes. Listen. That's the crust, and the inside is going to be soft. We'll take them off to cool them off, and then I have probably one other batch to go because I use the toaster oven. Usually this recipe will fill one big baking sheet for a big oven, but it's too hot to run a big oven. And then in a little bit I show you what they look like inside. So here it is. Let it cool before you cut it. As you can see, this is a much denser inside bread than any American bread. You actually have to chew this. So traditionally we fill this with salami and cheese or ham and cheese or anything like that. But you can also cut it diagonal just like this and make bruschetta with it, make little sandwiches. You can toast it. It won't stay crusty overnight, but you can put it in the oven the next day to get it crusted up again. You can also make the dough the night before and then take it out and bake it the next day. And that's it. Simple, easy bread. 5 minutes hands-on, 20 minutes for the dough to rise, and another 20 minutes in the oven, and that's it. We use it a lot.